Hello and welcome. Today we are going to be talking about the one thing that your agency or maybe even your own internal team isn't doing, and that's promo planning, or in fact, deep promo planning. Today I have the lovely Jane
Hello.
and Miller,
Hello.
equally as lovely, joining me to talk through kind of how we help our clients, some of the challenges that we see with brands, and where we kind of see brands going a little bit wrong, and maybe not kind of making the most of their potential. Make sure you stick around to the end of the video. We're going to be sharing really some like live tips, going through a tool that we've developed internally about how to kind of help brands go through that process. So over to you guys, Miller. Maybe where do we kind of start?
Yeah, cool. I think for a lot of e-commerce business and what we've found with working with a lot of different brands is that it's typically not something that the marketing teams think about very often. It's kind of like a last minute thing. Like they might see there's like a click frenzy or an after payday sale happening and they just quickly jump on it without properly planning and thinking about how that might actually be impacting their business. Obviously, it can kind of, if we're reducing stock, the price of our stock, if we're not thinking about how much we actually need to be spending in our advertising, these are all things that can impact the business quite significantly if we're doing that consistently over a long period of time without really thinking and strategizing how we can use these promotions to our advantage.
Yeah. I mean, I think the funny thing is, we get to Black Friday, Cyber Monday, or we get to Click Frenzy, or we get to Christmas, and it's like, oh shit, what are we going to run?
Yeah.
Let's run quick 15% or 30% off. Let's just do what we did last year. But the world changes, the market changes, our customers change.
Yeah.
And we need to do things differently, right?
Yeah, definitely. You really do need to be thinking more strategically. And there's other kind of ways that you can do promotional planning that aren't just slashing 30% off your product every time that there's a opportunity to promote. It can be kind of product launches, and Jane kind of talked to that, I think, a bit more as well.
Yeah. I think we'll go into more detail in the in our tool, but yeah, it can be a multitude of things, whether it's buy one get one, or if it is just a big launch, if you're doing like a big summer launch or winter launch or whatever, like really seasonal, you don't have to be marking your stuff down by 50% or anything crazy.
Totally. Yeah. I think that's one of the things we hear a lot is, we know a promotion drives sales, but oftentimes founders and teams they don't want to discount their product. They don't want to be a discount Dave and give away their product for nothing. But the funny thing is when it comes to those key periods, they oftentimes do that anyway.
Yeah.
So I think we'll run everybody through who's listening here a tool that we use and have developed internally about kind of, planning a bit better, getting a bit more ahead of it so that when you get to those promo periods, you've really thought through what you need to do.
Yeah.
So why don't we jump over to the tool now? So up on screen, we've got our commerce map. And Miller, do you want to kind of take us through maybe the 4 different types of promotions that we kind of see work really well for commerce businesses?
Yeah, so the way we've kind of segmented out how we like to look at our promotions is in 4 kind of key different events. So the first is like a calendar event, like a Valentine's Day, a Mother's Day, Father's Day, or New Year's Eve. I'm sure there's probably a couple of other ones that you could kind of slide in there depending on what's relevant for your business. But those are kind of the key ones that we can see people, if you're running like a rings or a jewelry brand, obviously Valentine's Day is going to be a big thing. If you're doing like a gifting, Mother's Day or Father's Day, if you've got like a fashion brand with a lot of like mini dresses, New Year's Eve and New Year's parties, that kind of thing can really be used to your advantage. So that's probably the biggest, most obvious one. And then we've also got our commerce. So again, end of financial year, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Boxing Days, warehouse sales, all of those things that can be done throughout the year that really are your key promotional events that really boost your sales. And then we have seasonal, so kind of like what Jane was saying, it doesn't always have to be a big slash of your prices. We can sometimes look at other ways of creating hype around the brand, which can be through a product launch, whether it's a seasonal winter, summer, autumn, spring collection, or if you're kind of launching something more specific to the market where there's a need or you're seeing something kind of trending and you launch a product that has to do with that can kind of also create a lot of hype around that brand. Again, not just kind of slashing 20% off your products, but thinking of other ways that we can do gift with purchases, kind of buy one, get one, things like that throughout the year to kind of highlight other sales periods.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I think, the tool that we've got here and we've developed is based on what we know works really well. Some brands run promotions every month. Obviously, that's part of their broader business strategy. But, anywhere between 4-5 times a year, one of these key promotions, you don't have to kind of run one every month. You could do one for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. You can do a season, summer or winter. You can do a Mother's Day, Father's Day, or New Year's Day, whatever it is. You don't have to be on a discount all the time. But we know that these events do stimulate sales, right?
Yeah, definitely. Another thing that we like to do with a lot of our clients is kind of consider the 4-peak theory. So that is basically the idea of running 4-peak promotional periods throughout the year and kind of planning for those lower months. So when it comes around and you notice your sales are lower, you don't kind of frantically push out a promotion that doesn't necessarily make sense for your business, and you've kind of planned for that lower month. You know it's going to be softer, but it's fine because, in a month or 2 months, we've got a really big promotion that we've been planning and strategizing for.
Yeah, that's a good point. And we feel good about it, right?
Yeah.
It fits into the broader strategy for the business. I think, that kind of that last quarter of the year, October, November, December is really important to commerce businesses. But the crazy thing is we see businesses, spending a lot on advertising new customer promotions in November or December when they should have already acquired those customers in September, October, right? Like, unless you're a Christmas tree brand, what are you doing in December? Like, you should be reactivating those customers that you've already acquired. And I think the only way you get there is by using tools like, the commerce map here, planning out your quarters, which is really easy to do. And then just making sure your agency, your team is really focused on actually executing the promotions and effort that kind of goes into the planning.
And a lot of our clients, the ones that we sort of work with closely, I feel like they don't want to be on sale all the time. So this, we can still use this sort of map to really jut out what those sort of 4 peaks will be, and then what, the rest of the year will look like.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. So if anybody's interested, let us know in the comments. We can drop you the promotional tool here. As you can see, we've kind of mapped out each of the key areas. We've got the different promotions by promotional type, which might help you understand kind of what that is. And then also some tools here to help you kind of forecast the revenue for each promotion. For me, I think it is one of the key things that brands don't really do a good job of. I think agencies don't do a very good job of it. And that's why it's so important to kind of what we do.
Just leads to inefficiency.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Anything else you guys want to add?
No, I don't think so. I mean, as you said, the tool is super helpful. We've tried it with a lot of our clients and they've all been really happy with the results. I think it helps for any kind of brand owner to just have a bit of peace of mind that they've planned out their budgets, their investment, what they need, what kind of stock they need, and can kind of execute that throughout the year without having to frantically rush to get something out or keep up with, last minute promotions that might be happening in the industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. All right. Thank you, Miller. Thank you, Jane. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, join the channel. Let us know if you have any questions, if you want us to kind of share any more information, or if you have any specific questions, drop us a line. Thanks, guys.